Hello, this is another speech about the 7 institutions of the European Union. However, it's ideal for practicing consecutive interpreting with note-taking. And also, if you're just starting out, it's handy for establishing certain abbreviations or symbols. I'm going to begin now. Good afternoon, colleagues. I'm sure you're all aware that it's important to understand, to a certain extent, how the European Union works. However, this is not easy, as it's a complicated structure that has developed over decades through various treaties and continues to evolve. And so I'll just going to tackle one thing at a time, and today it's the 7 institutions of the European Union. I'm going to tell you about their names, their roles, when they were established, who their members are, and who their current presidents are. So the first one is the European Parliament. It was established first in 1952 as the Common Assembly of the European Coal and Steel Community, ECSC. Then in 1962, they changed its name to be the European Parliament and had first direct elections in 1979. Its role is to pass legislation, includes passing legislation, supervising other EU institutions and setting out budgets. There are 751 members of the European Parliament. They are directly elected by EU voters every 5 years. Currently, the president is David Maria Sassoli. Moving on to institution number 2, the European Council. Its role is to define the overall political direction and priorities of the European Union. It was established in 1974 as an informal forum, and it was given formal status in 1992. However, it was not until 2009 that it became an official institution of the European Union. Its members are the heads of state or government of the European Union countries, as well as the President of the European Council and the President of the European Commission. Currently, its President is Donald Tusk. Number 3, the Council of the European Union, which one must not confuse with the previously mentioned European Council, or even worse, the Council of Europe. No, this is the Council of the European Union, commonly referred to as the Council. Its role is to be a voice for the governments of the EU. It adopts EU legislation along with the Parliament, and it coordinates policies. It was first established as the Council of the European Economic Community, EEC, in 1958. Its members are the ministers of the governments of the member states who meet according to the area that is going to be discussed. So if they're going to discuss environmental issues, the ministers for environment of each member state will meet. And the presidency is changed every 6 months, and it's a country that presides for 6 months over the council. Is currently Finland. Number 4, the European Commission. The European Commission promotes the general interests of the EU by proposing and enforcing laws, and it also implements policies and the EU budgets. It was set up in 1958, and its members are a chosen college of commissioners, one from each member state. Currently, the president is still Jean-Claude Juncker. Now, number 5 is the Court of Justice of the European Union, or CJEU, and it's divided into two courts, which I'll not explain properly, but they're just called either the Court of Justice or the General Court. And the role of the CJEU is to ensure that European laws are interpreted and applied equally in all the member states, and to ensure that all these member states abide by European law. It was set up in 1952. The members are made up of judges from each member state, one judge from each member state for the Court of Justice, and two, as of 2019, for the General Court. The Court of Justice also has 11 Advocate Generals. Currently, their president is Koen Lenaerts. Excuse my pronunciation. Moving on to institution number 6, the European Central Bank. It manages the euro and is supposed to keep prices stable, as well as conduct EU economic and monetary policies. Set up in 1998, its members are the Vice President and the President of the ECB, as well as the governments of the national central banks of each member state. Currently, Mario Draghi is its president. Finally, number 7, the Court of Auditors. Its role is to check that nobody's pocketing EU funds, or rather that they are collected and used correctly, and to help improve the financial management of the EU. It was first set up in 1977. There's one auditor from each member state that makes up the members, and its current president is Klaus-Heiner Lehne. So that's the end of my very exciting speech on the 7 institutions of the European Union. I hope it has been as useful to you as it has been to me, and that it has helped you to establish some symbols that you will use for the rest of your life as an interpreter. Thank you for your attention.